Hey, what's up guys? Radku here, back with another Yu-Gi-Oh video. Again, sorry I didn't post this morning. I'm like becoming lazy. I really need to post more consistently in the mornings, but I should get back to my schedule soon. So today we're doing a BLS deck profile. This is a Chaos Blackluster Soldier deck profile. So we got cards like Chaos Space and stuff, and we got some of the Chaos monsters in here, including Chaos Dragon Levianeer, and some of the better Chaos cards. There are some things that you might want to cut out from this deck, and some things you might want to change up, because sometimes this deck can brick if you have too many Chaos monsters in your hand. But usually this deck, because you really only have maybe 2 bricks in this entire deck, which are these two and maybe Chaos or Chaos Emperor. But with most of the other deck, you can pretty well combo off. So yeah, let's get into it. So the main point of this deck is to summon a bunch of chaos monsters and one big Blackluster Soldier monster. So starting things off for the Blackluster Soldiers, I played one copy of original Blackluster Soldier. Even though it isn't very good, I still have it in here for namesake. 2 copies of Blackluster Soldier Super Soldier. If this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to its attack in the graveyard. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, or if card in your owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon one Gaia the Fierce Knight monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. I don't play any of the Gaia the Fierce Knight monsters, even though the deck kind of revolves around it. There are some cards that can take advantage of them, but I don't really want to play them. So yeah, 2 copies of this, definitely really good with, it's kind of, a makeshift topologic bomber dragon without the destruction effect. Then I played 3 copies of Blackluster Soldier Envoy of the Beginning. This is definitely a really good card. One of your ones that you want to search off the Chaos Space. Definitely pretty versatile. Some pretty good effects just in general. Um, the, Basically it can banish, or it can make a second attack, which they kind of alternate, because um one of them, it means you can't attack, and the other one, it's just generic. So it's pretty good effects, all in all, and definitely one you want to search off a Chaos Space. Then I played 2 copies of Beginning Night. This card is pretty good just because you can use it for your ritual summon, and it can pull off some decent combos. I mainly only use it as a target for your warrior engine to go into Isolde. But you can use it just in general to go into your normal plays. I do play Cross Sheep in here, so you can take full advantage and turn it into a Pot of Greed. Then I play 2 copies of Blackluster Soldier Sacred Soldier. This card I play 2 copies of because it's just a normal Chaos monster, or not a normal Chaos monster. If it's normal or spiritual summon, you can target one of your banished light or dark monsters, return it to your opponent's control, and one card your opponent controls would turn the banish to the graveyard, and if you do, banish your opponent's monster. So it's kind of a trade-off. You can get back your monster to use it for materials for like Collapse Serpent, or any of your other Chaos monsters. And when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can target one level 7 or lower warrior monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. This can help renew some of your Chaos monsters, might help you renew your Blackluster Soldiers if need be. 2 copies of Super Soldier Soul. You can send one Blackluster Soldier from your hand to the graveyard. Until the end of the turn, this card's attack becomes 3,000. This card's name becomes Blackluster Soldier. You can banish this card from your graveyard, add one Beginning Night or Evening Twilight Night from your deck to your hand, which can help search boom and boom. 2 copies of this is definitely really, really good. Blackluster Soldier Envoy of Evening Twilight is not as good because you have to banish your entire graveyard of monsters to even summon it. So it's definitely really hard to use, but it's pretty good payoff. you cannot conduct your battle phase a turn it activates. It's treated as a light attribute as well. Can target one card on the field, banish it, or banish one random card from your opponent's hand face down until the end of your opponent's end phase, which is really good. Like I said, this has a good payoff. And it can be searched with Chaos Space, which can definitely get you up there in terms of stats, but it does have a huge cost. 2 copies of Chaos Dragon Levianeer. It's a Chaos deck. You kind of have to play Levianeer if you want to. Um, 1 copy of Chaos Emperor, the Dragon of Armageddon. I play this just because it's another generic Chaos card, plus it has a decent Pendulum effect, but the Pendulum effect doesn't really work with this deck. But it's still a decent card. Oh, 1 copy of Chaos Creator for the Chaos Engine, Chaos Valkyrie, Collapse Serpent, and Wyvern Burster. This is your kind of Chaos Engine right here. Some of the cards are subbable, but you need to keep at least these 4 in here. Then for the Warrior Engine, I play 1 Photon Thrasher and 3 Butter Spy. Photon Thrasher, you want to draw it on your first turn just so that you can go into your plays from there. It's definitely really good. Plus, you could search it with Chaos Space, which can definitely kick off your plays really well, which means you have 4 copies of it in the deck. You could make it 7 or 6, but I didn't really want to. Then I play 3 copies of Butter Spy because you can also search it with Chaos Space, and it's a free special summon to get into Isolde or even Cross Sheep. And that's it for the monsters. Monster lineup is pretty good. I don't play any hand traps because the Chaos Engine takes up a good chunk of this deck. So it's more of a Chaos deck than a BLS deck, but a good majority of the monsters are Chaos BLS cards. So you can definitely use it pretty effectively, but you don't have a ton of room for hand traps and stuff without gunking up the deck with too many bricks. 1 copy of Terraforming to search out your Gateway to Chaos. 1 Called by the Grave, because this deck can search quite a bit, especially with Chaos Space. Kind of want it. 1 Reinforcement of the Army, you can search basically half your deck. 1 Foolish Burial, in case you want to send like a card for a target for the Chaos monsters. 1 Raigeki, because I didn't want to play anything else, so I figured the generic Raigeki is pretty fine. 1 Monster Reborn. I got a lot of limited cards in this deck. I want to just put this out there. This deck is nowhere near budget. It's like hundreds of dollars. Very, very expensive. But it's still a pretty fun deck to play. Even if you don't actually want to pick up the deck, you can still use it on Dueling Book and stuff, and it's definitely really good. 1 copy of Divine Sword Phoenix Blade for Isolde. 3 Gateway to Chaos. When this card is activated, add 1 BLS ritual monster or 1 Gaia to your hand. Each time a monster card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, place 1 spell counter on this card. For each of those, then once per turn you can remove 3 spell counters from this card, add 1 ritual spell from your deck to your hand. Great search card for your synthesis. Plus, in general, it's your only field spell. You can't really play Mystic Mine or anything because it won't work in this deck, because this is a combo deck. But then 3 copies of Chaos Space, probably one of your best cards, searches almost all cards in your deck. As a matter of fact, I think it does search every single card in your deck, other than like your Blackluster Soldier and your Envoy of the Evening Twilight. So it's definitely really, really good to basically just search half your deck. Plus, it can send cards to the graveyard, which can supplement your Chaos plays. Then 3 copies of Super Soldier Synthesis. A lot of people only play 2 copies of this, but I like it at 3 just because if you end up drawing any of your BLS ritual monsters, you're most likely going to end up with at least one of your Synthesis in your hand. So yeah, that's it for the main deck. Main deck is pretty good. You're gonna stay in the main deck most of the time, but you can definitely supplement a bunch of extra deck plays, including OTKs, some good disruption, like great cards in general, and just anything generic. Plus, you have cards like Cross Sheep and Isolde, which are the only like actual worthwhile cards in the extra deck that you need. But continuing into the extra deck, one Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. Not exactly the best card, but it's still pretty decent. Um, if this card is link summoned using a level 7 or higher monster as material, your opponent cannot target it with card effects. Also, cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Then, when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, activate one of these effects. This card gains 1500 attack. This card can make a second attack or banish one card on the field. This card's like $100. I don't know why. It's okay for the banish effect, but all the other effects are just kind of meh. And the monster isn't exactly the best monster either. Like, it doesn't have all downward pointing arrows. Plus, it needs 3 monsters with different names, which means you can't spam out a bunch of your butter spies on the field to supplement your plays. But it's fine. You'll be able to use cards like Almirage if you need to. Then one copy of Appaloosa for negation, one copy of Boral's Sword for OTK. I don't know what the obsession with access code is. Maybe just the fact that it only requires 2 monsters instead of 3, which can make it easier to go into, but you don't play enough link monsters to supplement playing access code. It is fine if you want to play access code, and you would be able to get it up to about 4,300 attack, but you won't be able to use it to its full potential if you're using access code. So I play Boral Sword just because Boral Sword is always reliant. One copy of Nightmare Phoenix, Unicorn, and Cerberus, generic Nightmare cards. One copy of Isolde. This can help just search any of your warrior monsters. Plus, in general, Isolde is just good in any warrior deck. If this card is link summoned, you can add 1 warrior from your deck to your hand, but for the rest of the turn, you cannot normal or special summon monsters with that name, nor activate their monster effects. You can send any number of equipped spells with different names from your deck to the graveyard. Special summon 1 warrior monster from your deck whose levels equal to the number of cards sent. So, yeah, that's why we play Phoenix Blade. You can search out your Super Soul, which can use your BLS to send it to the grave, which is really, really good. One copy of Cross Sheep, just because this is a somewhat ritual deck, so you can use it to just turn into a pot of greed. One Barricade Borg Blocker, just because really good card. You can discard if this card's link summon, you can discard 1 card during the end phase. Add 1 continuous spell or field spell from your graveyard to your hand. Hard once per turn. Face-up spells you control cannot be destroyed. This is definitely a card played in Mystic Mine, if you can actually use it. But this can help protect your gateway to chaos. Plus, it's pretty easy to go into with just 2 generic materials. One copy of Almirage, just because Almirage is so easy to use. Like, just in general, Almirage is easy to use. Plus, if you need to go into any link plays, Almirage is pretty good. 1 Relinquished Anima, just some removal. If you need to add on to link plays, you can get your opponent's monsters. Then, for the Xyz monsters, 1 Hope Harbinger, 1 Lancelot. Lancelot is really good, and people overlook it a lot, but it's, like, really, really good. 1 Abyss Dweller, and 1 Tornado Dragon, just generic Xyz stuff. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. The deck is very solid. It is very chaos reliant. Unlike Thunder Dragon, where chaos is like a tech, or chaos is an engine in the deck, this deck is full on chaos because BLS relies on chaos cards. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This is main deck is solid. If not, you can sub out a few cards. Extra deck is very solid. Very generic extra deck. So yeah, please like, subscribe, share, comment, let me know what you thought, and let me know if there is anything else that you think I should change about this video. Is there any like specific cards you think I should take out from the main or extra deck? And yeah, that's pretty much it. I will see you in the next Yu-Gi-Oh video. Peace, guys.